Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bree and today I want to talk about everything I read in May and we're going to pick out my TBR for June. I don't think I've actually picked out my TBR on the channel before, but I thought it sounded kind of fun. So after I go through everything I read in May, we're going to jump over to my bookshelf and see what sounds fun for June. Okay, so the first book that I read in May for the entire first half of May, Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, which is over 400 pages long, really tiny type, real scientific. So like it's so not a fast read and I was having such a good time with it. I had so much fun with this one, you guys. But yeah, I read this, I want to say I finished this on May 14th, so it took me literally the entire first half of May, which is fine because it was really, really good. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, something like that. This one is about a group of people. Some of them are scientists, some of them are like journalists, some of them work for this entertainment company that is funding the trip. They go out on a cruise ship to the Mariana Trench, where 7 years before, a different cruise ship funded by this entertainment company, the ship didn't go down. The ship was actually found, but all hands, every single person aboard was gone. Like missing, no bodies, no nothing. So 7 years later, all of these scientists go out and they are going to try to find out what happened to the first ship 7 years ago. And they are above the deepest point of the ocean, the Challenger Deep, and I mean deepest and least explored point of the ocean, meaning, you know, there's stuff down there that we don't know about. And so they're going to go perform a bunch of tests and experiments and see if they can figure out what happened to the previous ship. Our main character, Tori, is trying to find out what happened to her sister Anne, who was aboard the first ship and went missing with everybody else. This was honestly so cool. I love water stuff, I love ocean stuff, I love ocean creatures, sea creatures, and I love science. So this was awesome. I loved every second of this, even though it took me 2 full weeks, you guys. It took me such a long time. I normally don't spend that long on one book, unless it's like, I think it took me 2 weeks to read It by Stephen King, which, I mean, fair, that one's so long. Yeah, that is the first book I read in May. I loved it, so immediately upon finishing it, when I went to rate it on Fable, I learned that there was a prequel novella about the first ship that got lost over the Mariana Trench 7 years previous to this story. So I immediately downloaded that. And I kind of thought it was one of those prequels that's written after the original story, when in fact it was written a couple of years before this book. But I actually really recommend, if you want to read these, I recommend reading them in the order that I accidentally did. So the book first and the prequel novella later, just because the book takes so much more time to find out what's going on, and if you've already read the prequel novella, then the build-up is really for nothing in the novel. I don't know. That's my opinion on it. Now, I didn't actually read them in order, so maybe somebody who did would have a different view of that than I do, but that's my recommendation anyway. Prequel novella is called Rolling in the Deep, and it was only a little over 100 pages, I think. I read that in the same day that I finished Into the Drowning Deep because I couldn't not. It's too intriguing, I don't know, and I really liked that one too. Okay, the next thing I finished, The Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice. I have been listening to the Vampire Chronicles series on Audible while I drive because I do a lot of driving. I finished this one on my drive and I am so obsessed with this series, you guys. Like, I cannot get enough of it. I'm currently listening to The Tale of the Body Thief, which is book number 4 in this series, and I've given them all 5 stars so far. Finished the AMC series last week, and I am just dying for the Vampire Lestat, that season, to come out this coming weekend. Oh my gosh, you guys. Now, I think I saw yesterday that it's coming out episodically, like every week you get to watch one episode, so I don't get to binge it, which I guess is fine. But yeah, I'm so excited. I love all these books so much. Next up, I read Piranesi, which I don't want to talk too much about, if I'm being honest with you guys, because you need to go into this one blind. It is so clever. It's really, I would call it academic. Super clever, super brilliant. I don't want to say anything about it, guys. If you haven't read this, if you like anything like dark academia, fantasy related whatsoever, pick this one up. If you liked anything else by Susanna Clarke, pick this one up. If you like a good mystery, pick this one up. And that's all I will say about that. I'm so glad I finally read it, though. I've had that on my shelf for years. After that, I picked up Margot's Got Money Troubles, which technically falls in between my things I read in May and my June TBR, because today is June 2nd, and I finished this yesterday on June 1st, so it's technically the first book I have finished in June, but I read most of it in May. The miniseries for this just came out maybe last month. It might have also been April, I'm not sure, but I thought that looked really good. I've had this sitting on my shelf for the past 2 years, I think, since it came out. I had heard some good things about it recently from Fern of the channel Cozy Plant Lady, and so that was another thing that made me grab this, hearing that it was good, because it's been sitting on my shelf just staring at me, and I really liked it. It was really cleverly written. I really liked Margot, the character of Margot. She was really, really brilliant, honestly. And it's told in her voice, which was really cool. It's very clever. It delves into like the complexity of family, the complexity of humans, and how people are complex. Nobody's all good or all bad. And there's a lot about feminism, a lot about societal and familial judgment, and just it goes into a lot of things, you guys. It was really good. And yeah, I recommend the heck out of that one too. I really want to watch the miniseries now, but I'm so bad at keeping up with shows. I'm actually really shocked. I caught up with The Interview with the Vampire. I watched season 3 of Heartbreak High, which I like that show. I started watching it because I learned that Chloe Hayden is an autistic actress, and she plays an autistic character named Quinny in the show, and that's why I started watching it, because I think it came out a little bit after I got diagnosed, or it could have been just around the same time that I was figuring it out and wasn't actually diagnosed yet. Anyway, I digress. That's why I started watching it, and I actually really like it. If you've seen the show, Harper was another inspiration for my recent haircut. Season 1 Harper. I feel like I forgot something. I forgot something. Okay, so between Rolling in the Deep and The Queen of the Damned, I read Scorpion Deep by C.G. Drews, and I forgot about it because I don't have a physical copy because I had an advanced digital copy. Oh, you guys. That was the perfect book to read after Into the Drowning Deep and Rolling in the Deep. God, am I slouching? Oh, my back. So that was another ocean, sea, deep water horror. So I read 3 of those in a row, and I loved every second of it, you guys. Like, that is my jam. That one follows a boy named Jonathan who is just desperately lonely, and he actually makes a deal with this ancient sea god to try and keep his friends in his life as they are trying to go off to college, and he did not get accepted to go with them. And so he makes this deal and awakens this like eldritch sea god that his whole town talks about as like a legend, and things go pretty crazy from there. I'm a huge fan of C.G. Drews and their writing. I love the way they write. I love the uniqueness of their writing voice, the characters they create. I love all of the autism rep because, I mean, so I love that. I love how much I can relate to the characters that they create, because that's just a really cool thing when you don't find that a lot. That one, you guys, comes out in October, so it's a little early for me to be like, oh my god, you guys go pre-order it, but you totally still can this early. Go pre-order it because it's so good, especially if you've liked any of their other books. Don't Let the Forest In, Hazel Thorne, and You Did Nothing Wrong are their more recent books. I recommend the hell out of all of them. I love them so much. I think it is time for us to move to the bookshelf and decide what I want to read in June. Now, first, I feel I should address the books that I picked for my May TBR, which actually I think I called May Maybes, because I felt very aware even at the beginning of last month that the vibes weren't vibing, and I didn't have any books I really specifically wanted to read. So I have them in my little TBR box right here. I did not get to 4 of them, which is unfortunate, but let's see if we want to move any of them over to June. The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This was the Lolly winner for 2024, and I've had it on my shelf for quite some time and have not read it. And I want to say there's a movie or a miniseries coming out soon. I don't remember which, but I know I need to read this one. Kind of a chonker though. As is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I still have not read anything by V.E. Schwab, you guys. Like, what am I doing? Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. I loved Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I read that last spring, maybe. Really want to read the sequel. I feel like I've waited so long that I'm going to have to read like a synopsis or an overview of the first book before I can even do that. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I really want to read this, but also I'm a little like, I know that I'm going to cry. So I'm like feeling like I need to prepare myself. I need to be prepared before I can read such a thing. I do have several books coming on Book of the Month and Aardvark. I wonder if any of those... Let's see. What did I get? Ooh, Headlights by C.J. Lead. I heard that that one is kind of a... not a retelling of The Shining, but it references The Shining a lot. The Shining is one of my favorite books of all time, so that might be a contender as soon as I get that one in. Also, The Fiction Writer by Gillian Cantor. That one wasn't from this month. It was from a couple months ago, and I ordered it this month because I realized that it is a retelling of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which I loved that one. I didn't realize that this was that, or I probably would have gotten it at that time. Okay, and then Book of the Month, The Children by Melissa Albert, main characters by Bobby Palmer, Summer's Never Over by Darby Bozeman. None of those are anything that I knew about before seeing them in Book of the Month, so I don't know if any of them are gonna like jump out at me immediately. That could change when I get them. I am probably gonna have to pick things that I have on my Kindle as well, because I'm going on vacation in 2 days. Going with my family to Florida, and I can't pack a bunch of physical books because then my suitcase will be too heavy. I could see myself doing that, packing just way too many physical books, and then my suitcase is too heavy for the plane. What do we have? Let's see, what can we put on the TBR? You know, Empire of the Vampire has been catching my eye, which I did discover on Kindle Unlimited recently. That's a contender for sure. The Vampire Chronicles is getting me back into my vampire obsession. Been a minute since I was in one of those, although when I read Dracula for the first time. Yeah, besides that, we'll just have to see what calls my name at that moment. Oh, I could mention the one I'm reading right now. Here's The Dust Jacket. I started reading 5 by Ilana Bannister yesterday. When I finished Margot's Got Money Troubles, I immediately started reading this. I'm about halfway through it right now, and it is, I didn't know what to think of it at first. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but then I got further into it, and it's so good, you guys. Like, I kind of knew I was going to like it because I like fast-paced thrillers, but this one delves so much into the characters, and you get to know them like so much more than I thought we were going to. That's about where I'm at right now. So the whole premise of this book is that there are 5 passengers waiting for a train, and immediately, one of the first lines in the book, we learn that one of them is going to die as soon as the train gets there. We don't know which one, and the train gets there in 5 minutes. So we are introduced to these characters, and that's where I'm at right now. We're still being, I mean, they've been lightly introduced. We're getting like introduction depth at this point. It's honestly, it's so good. Like, I'm really liking it. So that is June TBR number 1. I kind of want to read How to Fake It in Society. I got this in my May aardvark box, and it just seems like so much fun. I could use a light read after. I don't read a lot of light reads. I like to throw them in every now and again to kind of take a step back from a lot of the heavier stuff that I read. So perhaps. Anything else? You can see the more recent ones that I've acquired end up getting stacked right here when I have not rearranged my shelf recently to make room for them. So these are all my newer books right here. Oh, and with the addition of these guys, which I got this as my May Book of the Month pick. And I've heard good things about that from John Green, so that makes me want to pick that up pretty soon. These, one of my friends actually got her box double delivered, and then she contacted Book of the Month and they said to just keep it, so she gave me her books as well. So I have a romance and a thriller, which could also be contenders. These are all pretty chunky. I feel like I need to make up for not reading very many books in May by reading a lot of books in June, but we'll see how that goes. Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. This one is all over the place right now, and so I'm having FOMO. I really want to read it, especially because I already read Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer a couple of months ago. Freaking loved that one, you guys. So I know this isn't the same because this one's not horror, but similar enough. I'm into it. I think I'm gonna keep Hamnet on the TBR, you guys. I think I'm gonna do it. You know what else I might pick up on my Kindle is the 3rd Clown in a Cornfield book, because Summerween, and I read the other 2 last summer and fall. Was it last year? I think it was last summer and fall. Those are so much fun, you guys. I really like those. So, also a contender. I need to write these things down. I've read almost everything on my horror shelf, you guys. I should be proud of that, but I'm also kind of sad because I need more. I think I'm gonna shelve The Map of the Other Lands for right now, which makes me sad, but I don't think I'm quite in the mood for it yet, and if I read it when I'm not quite in the mood for it, I don't want to not like it. I want to give it the best chance possible, meaning my mood reading brain has to be in the mood. I think I'm gonna shelve Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil for now. You know what I've been dying to read? Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I hope it's pronounced Crichton. I heard a different YouTuber say it like that, so here's to hoping. I'm so obsessed with the movies Jurassic Park, and I've never read the book. Like, I don't know how. I only read Jaws last year. I don't know what my deal is. I love this kind of stuff, and I hope this one's pretty scientific. I really don't know. I really kind of hate mass market paperbacks, so at least this is one of the taller ones, but I probably will just read this copy. I might get an actual paperback that is not one of these. I think I might keep The God of the Woods on the TBR, guys, because I think this is about summer camp. I'm gonna keep this one on the TBR until I read it. It could end up being like July or August, but I want it to be the right vibes. All right, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to pick so many that I don't read a bunch of my TBR again like I did last month. And I want to save some space for, you know, any other books that just call my name at any random time, because that's kind of how my brain works the most. My TBRs are very, very loose because I'm a mood reader to the core. So yeah, let's see. What did we pick, guys? I really feel like anything I read on my Kindle while I'm on vacation is going to be purely by vibes, purely my mood at that moment. But here we are. Here is our loose June TBR. God of the Woods, How to Fake It in Society, A Yesteryear, Hamnet, Jurassic Park. I'm very excited about this. Anyway, thank you guys for helping me pick my June TBR. Thank you for hanging out with me. And especially thank you for watching all the way to the very end. This was a lot of fun. I actually think I might do this more often. I hope you guys are having a great evening. And I'm gonna go pack for my Florida trip now. So I'll see you guys very soon.